Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving Schools.
Hello and welcome to Owen the Town. It's getting a bit repetitive, isn't it? A trip to Bramall Lane piles on the pressure, I think, for the team and Rob in particular, and United breeze to an easy 2-0 win. The frustrations of the fans on the terracing was there to be seen that day. There's not much more to say other than fasten your seatbelts. And let's see what the lads think about it. We're going to talk about Watford. We asked you the question, is Watford make or break for Rob? And we have your 3-word reviews and much, much more. You can probably tell from my demeanour right now, if you're watching on YouTube, that I'm a bit fed up with it all. But yeah, we're going to talk about it anyway. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, why aren't you watching on YouTube yet? You can see we've got a full house. We've got with us Steve, Darren and Bataro. Thanks for coming along, fellas.
Evening.
Hello.
I think we're all in the same milk, aren't we? It's just so frustrating that this is going on week after week and we don't appear to be improving in any way, shape or form.
That was pathetic Saturday.
Straight in, Steve.
No, it was on the pitch particularly, off the pitch as well. It was just pathetic. You know, there's just so many things as we go through this evening that you can pull apart and say, well, that was wrong or that wasn't good enough. But, you know, to me, let's start with, the formation and that.
I get that.
He put Waters over on the left, okay? You know, a young lad, really just starting out in professional football. You know, when we talk about the game, you know, we'll say, but he was flat-footed. He just didn't look right there. And also by putting Doughty over on the right, he can still contribute because he's such a good player. Yeah. But you take so much away from the team with what he can do on the left-hand side, particularly with Chong not being there as well. So no balance on the left side at all. It was totally disjointed. And on the pitch, it was absolutely pathetic.
It was... the saddest thing, it was quite a good journey, wasn't it?
Oh, apart from the football, it was a great day.
Pre-football, we had a great time. I'm glad that we didn't do this immediately after because I think I would have said something different. Bataro, you probably caught up with it all. What are you thinking?
I'm a little bit speechless, I'll be honest. I don't really know what to say. It's just getting worse, isn't it?
Inept,
yeah,
wasn't it?
It's ridiculous. Like you say, pathetic, Steve. It is a little bit. I mean, what I'm seeing at the moment, I mean, the first sort of few games... Oh, Dave, sorry. There you go. Back in. He moans about me not talking into the microphone. Anyway. But,
yeah, I'll take that, mate. Sorry about that.
But, no, I mean, I was quite positive after the first sort of 3 or 4 games. I thought, we're not playing too bad. You know, we haven't really got the results and this and that and whatever else. But I feel like we're not getting the results now and the performances are getting a lot worse, which is quite worrying. Anyone who is connected with Luton Town, i.e. more the fans, should be very concerned right now, I suggest. But, yeah, it's not good.
Darren, what are we going to do? What are you going to... I know you're going to be... Darren, I know what you're going to say. Go for it, fella.
I don't... I haven't come here preempting anything because I'm almost lost for words. I think what we've got to be realistic with is that... Okay, I know. Maybe with your heart, with our prediction thing, a couple have said Luton will win, but let's be realistic. I think we all kind of knew we were probably going to lose on Saturday, but to put in such a spineless, gutless performance as that, is I don't even get it. If your back's against the wall, or you think, the fans aren't with. Go and do something. Somebody has to grab the team, the club by the scruff of the neck and sort it out. And unfortunately, I don't think Edwards is the man at the moment because you're right, Steve. I have no idea what on earth that was on Saturday. when we were saying earlier, when we looked at the lineup when it came through, you thought, okay, he's gone with his 5 at the back and everything else again. Then they lined up. You saw it there out on the pitch. You went, hang on a minute, they're playing 4-4-2. So then you go, how do those players fit into 4-4-2? And I literally think Edwards rolled a dice and put some players. It's like if I roll 6, he goes into that position, or because there was at least 5 players not playing in their positions.
Yep.
And okay, great. I've been calling for it to go a 4-4-2 for ages.
But round pegs and round holes.
Yes, round pegs, round holes. So make one change the formation, but keep the players in their positions. Don't change the formation and then put players all over the place. No wonder why they look so lost.
I felt so sorry for Walters. You know, because he was up against a really, really good player, Raksak, who got both the goals. I felt sorry for him, but to me, right, let's say they put him over there because he's got more pace than Doughty. Fine, in isolation, that argument works. However, for me, a naturally left-sided player like Doughty, who knows the game on that side of the pitch, would be quicker than Walters, because he would naturally react to what was in front of him. Whereas Walters looked like a fish out of water. He didn't know what position to be, when to go, when to stay. And I felt so sorry for him, a young lad, and that would not have done him any good.
But what worries me, Steve, is that we saw that early on. Walters got turned absolutely inside out. He's playing on the wrong side. He's a young lad, and everything you've just said. It takes me back to Bournemouth away when we were 3-0 up, and we brought Hashi on, and Hashi was on the left, and they were turning Hashi inside out, and Edwards did not change it. How can all the fans see what's going on and the manager can't? The manager needed to look at that, Steve, and go, I've got to get him out of there.
Yeah.
You know, because he was absolutely being torn a new one.
Or just swap them. You know, he could have done that without any substitutions and immediately got a bit more balance, at least on those sides.
Wasn't Burke on the right hand side as well?
But
even the thing is, right, straight away there again, you say about obviously the player changes and whatever else position as well. Burke is on the right hand side of the defence, right, as a right back.
Right back.
Raul Walters is on the left.
Who's a right back?
Yeah. So Walters at right back. Even this is one thing now. So you put Walters on the right hand side, and you put, for example, Burke left. Not that he should go there, but that's just one position because Walters plays on the right anyway. So technically, you've not got two. You know, it's not too disproportionate.
And then, like I said, so with the back 4, when we've been playing a back 3, Mengi has been on the left of the back 3. We go to back 4, and now Mengi's playing on the right of the central 2, and McGuinness is on the left. And even that looks so unbalanced. Poor McGuinness didn't have a great day Saturday. No, well, none of them did. But it's like, why would you do that? Just put, Mengi's been playing on the left of the 3, so put him on the left of the 2. It's absolutely baffling.
Sorry, Dave. He's like, I want to speak now.
Sorry, Dave.
We were just moaning it.
Ding ding, end of round 1.
There you go.
Let's have a look at your 3-word review. You can see where this is going to go tonight, can't you? Your 3-word reviews on Sheffield United 2, Luton Town 0. Jimmy says League 2 football. Lou, where's the fight? Ethan, very, very sloppy. Gaz, we're getting worse. Andy, Derby Day dread. Guilty, too much. Too bloody predictable. Rob, something seriously wrong. I hope that's not Rob. John, keep the faith. Toby, out of ideas. And Julian, relegation battle commences.
No. Stop
You can pick one each because we're already 8 minutes in and we've all done a lot of moaning already.
I've already said what Gaz said. We're getting worse. That's my one there, out of the way.
Yeah, I'll go with Lou. Where's the fight?
Well, we said that on the way home, didn't we?
On the way home, chatting with a Sheffield United fan.
Oh, yes.
And he said, what the hell's happened to Luton? He said, where have you gone?
Yeah.
He said
you were the best of the 3 promoted teams.
Yeah, he said the last 2-3 years, he said everything that you guys stood for and were bloody good at. And he was shocked, wasn't he? He was, I just don't know what's happened to Luton. And he said, where have you gone? What's happened?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of people saying it the other day. They were like, Sheffield, like, fair play to Sheffield United. Obviously, they might have recruited really well. I don't really know too much about what they've done, but obviously, I don't feel like we have done enough to recruit. But not only that, like you say, we were far better than Sheffield United last season. With all due respect to them.
Yeah,
and
we were. And
look how many miles ahead they are now of us.
They're miles and miles ahead. You got one you want to pick?
Well, I'll go with Toby, out of ideas. I think that's what Saturday was. It looked like that was a panic selection, a panic whatever. I think Edwards is out of ideas. He's got an international break to try and sort it out for probably Probably, well, apart from Wembley, one of the biggest games of his managerial.
All of our season.
Is he saying Derby Day dread? Is that what he's saying?
That's what he's saying. Yeah, absolutely.
But I worry that he's out of ideas, and the problem that I have with that is, okay, Chong was out, and I know Morris is out, but there's not a great deal missing. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Okay, Amari. There's a few, but
Morris.
We've still got enough quality,
but
Darren. That's that's what you're saying. We've got enough quality. We have.
There should be enough quality, and there's still enough quality with those players, or there should be enough quality with those missing. And he's still not getting a tune out of them. I don't think they're playing for him either. I think there's a big separation.
Well, right? Last season, at one point, we had 13 or 12 players out injured, and I felt we were much better than what we've been the last couple of weeks. It's crazy, isn't it?
Did everyone read or hear what Burke said afterwards?
Yeah.
That I think that tells a story in itself. So Burke turned around and said, "We need to get back to doing the basics, and we need to get back to being strong, competitive, and everything." Look, the reason that everything comes from the manager. He sets them up and he makes them go out a certain way. I think that's Burke turning around and saying to Edwards in an interview, sort of, can we get back to what we do best?
I generally think that's Burke going, we've let you down, we haven't put enough effort in, we need to be stronger. That's what I think. I don't think it's any backlash against the manager personally. However, having said that, I just need to mention this week at Bramall Lane, I've never had so many people come up to me and talk to me. Steve Young, if you're listening, Steve.
Feels important now, David.
No. Steve Young come up and at half time, and he was really verbal and vocal about the performance, and he said, "Don't gloss over this because you can't." And I agree with him. We can't gloss over it.
There wasn't one leader on that pitch Saturday.
Well, we said that as well.
It was completely rudderless. It really was. You know, we say about Tom Lockyer, who's just a natural leader, and I mean, we miss Carlton Morris so desperately at the moment. But he's not your captain material. I don't think. Not in that galvanised.
Who is then? Who do you pick?
Well, this is it. I don't think anyone there has the right character to be the type of leader that we need.
Judging what Reece Burke just said, perhaps it's him.
I don't, because he's not vocal enough.
So who? That's the point. Who could you make captain? So that means they need that person. They need that Tom Lockyer. They need that Kevin Nichols. They need that type of player on there. Yeah. Bossing the game, don't they? Mm-hmm. God, it's depressing, isn't it? If you're a Sheffield United fan and you've tuned into this to see what we think of your team.
Welcome to the execution.
Yeah.
Can I say though? I know we're all thinking that we probably will lose to Sheffield United. Look, realistically, they're top of the table. They've had 2 points taken off. Realistically, they're top of the table and haven't lost.
Darren,
we lost. We only lost 2-0.
It's the manner of the defeat.
I get it.
And me and Steve said, driving home, we said, had we got beat 2-0 and put up a really good fight, and we've narrowly, we've missed a few chances, we've been on the ball, and they've got 2 goals, brilliant. We've always said this from day one: if you're going to get beaten by 2 great goals, but put in a performance. But we didn't put in anything, and Rob Edwards knows that. The fans know that. The board know that. Sheffield United fans know that. Sheffield United fans walked out of that stadium and go, well, Luton were rubbish. We didn't even have to get into third gear.
No. Because the thing is, all afternoon, there was no press at any time, on any part of the pitch.
There's no urgency, Steve, at any time.
And again, everything that we were has completely gone at the moment. But, with regards to the press, any of their players, whether it be the back four or the middle players, they could control the ball, look up, they could take their time, they could look, and then they found a pass. They were getting through us time and time again, just at the pace they wanted to. That would have been one of the easiest games they'd have had for such a long time. And it was just absolutely... there is no excuse for how they played Saturday.
Yeah, like you say, sorry, Dave, it's the press. This is what's bugging me. We're always known for our press, our aggression, squeezing up. The gap between the defence and the midfield, I keep saying it's doing my head in, because every single week I'm seeing the same thing. It's there's a 15-yard gap at least.
Yeah, they can just playing it through.
And it's just so easy.
Too deep at times.
Yeah, but it's just the fact that they could just, at will, just make the pass whenever they wanted. They had all the time in the world.
We said the other night, when your goalkeeper keeps getting player of the match, man of the match, what do you want to call it, there is something wrong. And Kaminsky was probably the only one to put in a shift, really.
Yeah.
Is that his third man of the match this season?
Well,
is it?
because he had to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
He
Is
had
that
to
his
be
third or
there,
fourth
right?
man?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
It's because we've got to use our phones because someone's printer isn't working.
Someone can't use the printer.
yeah, but you know what you can do when you use your phones? You can put it on airplane mode. You won't get that phone call.
Yeah, or silent like I have.
Yeah. Anyway, going back let's go back to the game. To be fair, I thought we might give it a try. I thought that we're playing a decent team. Maybe we'll step up because we've seen that in the past when we've played at home or away. People have we've just stepped up that little bit, and we normally fall away when we play the lower teams. Well, that didn't happen, did it?
Well, maybe that's how naive we've been recently, and actually trying. Well, maybe myself especially, because I think I said sat there and excuse me last week and said it. I said we will turn up because we're playing a better side, and we always do that.
And we didn't.
In the back of my head, maybe I'm thinking, or subconsciously, or whatever, I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm talking shit because we've not been good enough this season.
Here we go.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
it's
You know,
true.
We
It's
could,
true.
we could have a poll
Because
on that.
I'll be honest,
Jacob.
the last couple of games or whatever, I've not really been confident. I've been saying, oh yeah, we're going to win, because I think we're going to turn our fortunes around and whatever else. And we're not seeing it. And
No.
back of my head, I'm thinking, we're not good enough at the moment.
No.
Because he's not going to change it. He's not going to do this, he's not going to do that. Look.
Shall we talk about the
Yeah.
first goal? Because, 12
Yes.
minutes in and Sheffield United score. And, Steve, I think too many problems. Too many errors at the back.
Well, there was a bit of sort of head tennis, wasn't there? Of which we didn't win one of them. But, Walters was flat-footed. He was the wrong side of Raksaki. It was the wrong side of him. And he just froze.
And McGuinness.
Yeah, going to say, because the ball went over McGuinness's left shoulder and he didn't move.
They both looked at each other, didn't they? And say, like, whose is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, at the very least, they both should have gone for it. But, so Walters was the wrong side of him, froze. McGuinness just watched it go over his left shoulder and didn't react at all. And then two attempts to try and make a tackle when it was too late. I mean,
It was an easy goal, though.
it was easy for them, but it was just so soft and so rubbish. And it's your basics again. How can you be so flat-footed? Just on the edge of the penalty area. Again, we say about the leadership. Attack the ball, go to the ball. There was a number of passes that Kraus made as well during the game. And those passes, invariably to other midfield players, were just taken away by Sheffield United players, because not once, Clark on a few occasions and Nakamba, did they go to the ball to receive it. They just waited stationary for the ball to come to them. They're all on their feet, and again, it's just basic that they're not concentrating. They're not on the game.
Yeah, but then you got Clark, who's a centre midfielder, playing up front. He doesn't know how to play up front because he's not a striker.
No.
You got two strikers on the bench, Steve.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Do you know?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, but that first goal was just the 3 or 4 occasions of not good enough, not being on the game, not being switched on, and then we're 1-0 down.
If Lockyer is in the same place as McGuinness, Lockyer turns and chucks everything at that to, chucks his head at it, whatever, to get some contact. That's the difference.
We said, I think it was on the last pod, we referred back to a game against Blackpool a couple of seasons ago where we stopped them scoring, and there was like 5 or 6.
Chucking themselves in front of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where the hell is anything like that now? That is long gone.
There's nothing going on, is there? There's nothing. All over the pitch, there's nothing going on.
Folks, if you're still with us, you know where this is going.
The Samaritans.
Don't. I already called them Saturday.
Look, I go for me, going anywhere and being optimistic is a new thing, because I've always been pessimistic. And I went to Sheffield thinking we're going to give them a game, and we didn't. The goal goes in after 12 minutes, and you know exactly how the game's going to go. You know that we're not going to get back into it. You know that our striker's not going to score. Look, Elijah can do as much as he can. You have no service, you don't score. If you can't hold the ball up, you can't. You isolated again, absolutely isolated again. Not one chance in that first half, not one.
Yeah, isolated, even with Clark up front. But yeah, there's no point in having a go at Elijah for Saturday. No. I mean, there was a couple of times where he was running with the ball and just ran into a cul-de-sac, and they took it off him. But he was given nothing the whole game, not a sniff or an opportunity, not even to make a run. Yeah. No point in him even being there on Saturday.
And it's been like that all season long as well. whoever's played up top, it's the same story. I think people say, I know, don't get it wrong, right? I know we've got Joe Taylor on the bench and whatever else. Like I say, obviously Clark should not be playing up top, admittedly. But the thing is, everyone goes, Eli, swap him around, give Joe Taylor a go, and all this sort of stuff. That is not the issue. That's not the answer. The issue is the fact that we're playing such poor football and your strikers aren't getting a sniff because of the way we're playing.
Yeah, Taylor.
And the fact that there's a 15, like I say, every week, a 15-yard gap between each line. Midfield, defence, attack. It's the same fucking
I think the only time now I'd feel comfortable and confident putting Taylor in is with Morris up front with alongside
that's
him.
the type of player that would head the ball into a gap for Taylor to run onto.
A good target, man.
But then Elijah does the same.
What?
When he's on the pitch and Morris is together, he runs.
I do agree with that. To be fair, I'm a big fan of it. I think Eli's a great target man, by the way. I think a lot of people don't agree with that, but I do genuinely think he is.
If Eli's on form properly,
I do.
He can score. Fact is, he hasn't scored for 9 games.
I mean, Darren's looking at me right now, right? But there's a few times last season, right, when the ball got pinged like 60 yards up in the air and he took it down and whatever else, and he's beating people. But that's a confident Elijah, obviously.
Look, Joe Taylor
maybe he's not doing it, but
Taylor wants to be in the team. He's not being given an opportunity. I think it was an ideal opportunity to get him on at the weekend.
Yeah.
When he came on, did he get any chances? No. So it doesn't matter who you are at this moment in time. If we're not strong enough to create the chances, our attackers don't get the chances, we don't score. And it's getting a bit monotonous, Darren, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go.
He came to me with that one. No, do you know, I was trying to remember whether Taylor came on alongside Adebayo or did he come on for Adebayo? I was trying to remember. Because then we had Brown and Woodrow.
Well, Woodrow and Brown came on before
first,
Taylor,
so I'd imagine Adebayo had gone off, so we didn't get to see Adebayo with Taylor.
And ironically, the one that won the most headers at the front was Corley Woodrow, and he nodded a couple through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of his, but at least he was starting to try and knit a couple of things together, which was more than anyone else was managing.
Yeah. Without Kaminsky, would have been 2-3 goals down in the first half, and it would have been game over. And I might have suggested Steve would go down the pub. But
no, because I was driving.
Okay,
so it would have happened.
Yeah, you can have a cup, you'll be all right.
And then you think
Dave's famous coffees.
Let's think about the second half. Kaminsky, I mean, they come out straight away, don't they? And we're on the back foot again. And you're thinking, let's just keep it clean for 5-10 minutes. Was it 52 minutes, 49 minutes? I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember.
You know, when we go in at half time and we've had a good first half, and let's say we've gone in ahead, we're always thinking, right, the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half, we're going to have to watch it. There's going to be a reaction.
Yeah.
But we don't seem to be doing anything like that, do we? The reverse side of it just doesn't seem to happen.
But, we did have a chance of sorts, didn't we? Jordan Clark shot. You see, you can't remember it. I'll tell you why.
Did we?
They didn't show it on the bloody highlights.
I just read that and I'm trying to remember it.
I can't think.
But when I
was it straight to keeper by any chance?
Of course it was. Of course it was. 3 minutes later, we concede again. And again, I'm sorry to say, and I know the lad's quite young, but he got done like a kipper.
Walters. Yeah, I know. But at the same time, yet again, he's stuck out there. He's like a rabbit in the headlights in it again. But I know people are moaning that he's obviously showed him on his right foot or whatever. I think that's the right thing to do. Raksaki's left-footed. He showed him his right. I mean, you might not agree with us. I don't know, but I know Darren's still trying to fight me tonight.
No.
He's looking at me a little bit. But
I mean, it was unfortunate it went through Kaminsky's legs, to be honest with you.
Well, it did go
at the same time, he's been given the freedom to run at him and just cut in, cut out, and do whatever he's got to do. There's too much respect there.
Again, though, it's that balance, isn't it? If you're a right back, you're used to turning your body to turn someone a certain way.
Yep.
And he just
if it's too square on.
Yeah, he was too square on. He couldn't get himself. I'm just trying to think. If you're going to put a young lad in there, Johnson, all right, he didn't cover himself in glory against Burnley at home, but Johnson is a left back, isn't he?
Yeah,
so
you've got to have people in positions that they're familiar with if you want them to produce any sort of quality.
Yeah,
I just thought Saturday was junk in that regard.
I'm winging every away game I go to this season from last season because I haven't told my other half we've got relegated yet. So I'm doing as many as I can.
I did wonder, Dave, to be fair, because I mean, last time actually you were in the
Well,
Championship.
to be honest,
we were in Championship.
we've carried on losing, so she
Well,
probably thinks we are still in the Premier League.
I mean, look, to be fair, I don't know what to say about the game apart from we created nothing.
Woodrow got a crossover
Woodrow.
towards the end, and
Yeah.
Jacob Brown just.
But it wasn't a very good header, was
Well,
it?
pencil header over the bar.
no, it wasn't.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault though. It was too high. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it was a fluffy cross which you can't do anything with, and then
Yeah.
Brown just headed it over. But you know,
It's one of those things, isn't it?
if that's the highlight of our afternoon, then Jesus.
So game
And you
ends.
boys reckon you had a good day as well?
Yeah, we
Fair
did.
play.
Look, we had a good day out apart from the hour and a half of football, or hour and 40 minutes, however long it was.
Exactly.
At the end of the game, though, there are some people that chant wrong things, boo. I mean, you need to tell the team what you feel. I can agree with that. Can you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean,
But is it- is
they
it
were
right?
singing it just because they were frustrated, and that was their way of getting their point across.
However, how else do we? I mean, we obviously do this.
Yeah, but-
how else do the other people get to say?
Well, I don't
to
know,
the
but
manager?
you telling me that you weren't thinking that?
Well, no. Listen, I don't boo the team at this stage. I don't boo the team.
No, I would never do it either.
If for me personally, if the team haven't played well, I might not applaud them, or I might just leave the stadium.
I mean-
I don't boo the team.
but you-
However, everyone's got. We've said this all the time. Everyone has a voice. Everyone's allowed to do. They paid their 30 quid to get in. They've driven all the way up there, and they haven't been entertained. And that's the point. If we were entertained, if we played well, no one would have booed. They'd have gone, "Good try, get on with it." And Rob knows that. The players know that.
What was the chart at the end as well? Was it Robbie sorted it out, wasn't it? Or something
Yeah,
like that?
Edwards sorted it out.
As if he doesn't know that, he has to sort it out.
I
though.
mean, I kind of get the chart a little bit. Obviously, I don't agree with booing. I said this last week and the week before and whatever else. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it was 3 weeks ago, whenever it was ridiculous after people were booing.
Yeah, I mean, people articulate these things in different ways,
Of
though.
course.
So,
No, of
you know,
course.
But I think,
understand
I think
that.
by and large, everyone is thinking exactly
But
that.
what I was going to say was, in regards to the whole Edwards sort it out or whatever, the chant, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I
because
mean-
there is major problems. And the thing is, the fact that you're seeing, like we say, people out of position, people, like the tactics all completely wrong. I get that. And I understand people's frustration as well. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, fucking shut up, one of them ones, because it's so true.
But it's so hard to pinpoint it, isn't it? Because you're kind of looking at the players going, well, like I said, one of you's got to step up. Just one of you, just to start it. Why are they not fighting for themselves, their careers? Why are they not fighting for the manager? Why don't they come out and start games well? Why don't they come out in the second half and start well? I said it before. Edwards is so nice. He's such a nice guy, and he generally is. We've met him a few times, and he is just such a nice guy. I almost think it's too nice. And does that rub off on his team? Does it? Does it? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, but-
Does he? Can he throw a cup across the dressing room and go, for God's sake, lads? I don't know whether he does. So I don't know whether the players aren't fighting for themselves. They're not fighting for the manager. But equally, I've said it before as well, Pataro, that I think that we've had 2 terrible transfer windows.
Oh, yeah.
And Edwards hasn't massively been supported. And we're looking at Sheffield United and
But
Burnley.
is that because obviously not being supported, or has he had the support but we're just not being able to get those players because obviously the teams around us, they've got a lot more money. Well, not a lot, well,
No,
I would still say they've got a lot more money than us, probably.
No, but they've got the same money from coming down from the Premier League as us. Look, the ground was always going to be built.
No, of course,
So
yeah.
the money was, okay, you're going to have to borrow it.
But it's also
okay.
like the back in the financials, like the contracts you get behind the scenes and stuff, I guess,
take
isn't it?
30, 40 million out and go and spend 34 million and make yourself competitive. And then you just have to borrow that bit to finish off the ground. I think the club could have done more and helped him in the transfer market.
The stadium is a big part of our future. It's a big part of our progression.
It is, but it's no point being in the lower leagues.
But we're not going to be relegated this season, Darren. I guarantee.
No, I don't think we are this season.
He says fingers crossed.
Dave, I don't think we are going to be relegated this season. But we've lost that attraction,
That stock.
that stock. Yes, foreign players or all across the world, people are talking about Luton. It's gone. The club have lost it.
Oh, I think people are talking about us across the world for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
like,
but they've lost it.
yeah.
So if we finish 17th, 15th this season, that's it. Bubbles burst. You're not going to get your Barclays back in. You're not going to get those back in. And then you become a lower championship team. And then you only need one really bad season, you're gone.
Just before we move on,
I'm depressed now, Darren. Cheers.
Sorry.
just before we move on, I thought at the time on the day Moses put in a little bit more effort than some of the others, but didn't create much. I hate to say this because I like him as a player, but Tedemengi didn't look interested, did he?
No.
He's not looked interested all season.
He did not look interested.
And I've seen on several occasions where the ball's in our penalty area and, maybe it's sort of bouncing around, he'll just stand there. He's not going to attack the ball and clear it out. He'll just stand there. Again, I don't think he's putting it all in.
No, I agree because I'm not. I think Tedemengi is a fantastic player, technically very good, great defender. I think he's got a lot to learn still. But Premier League last season, I think he had a point to prove. Coming from Man United, and obviously teams were looking at him, whatever else. I think he had a point to prove. I think this season he thinks maybe. I'm going to say it. I think he thinks he's maybe too good for this division.
The problem is if he plays super well, he's off in January. And that's what he should be thinking. If I'm putting in that shift, I'm off in January.
Well, that shows then that there's something wrong because, we've hoped and we've believed over the last few years that the players that we've brought in, as well as being technically good enough, they've got the heart and they've got the desire. Now, it seems to me like he hasn't.
No, this is it.
And I think you're right, Batari. I think he does think that he's better than us and he's beyond all this. But there's been a number of times where he's been ball watching and he's been flat-footed and not attacked the ball and cleared it out.
Mate,
so I think he could do with his attitude.
I couldn't say if he, sorry. What I was going to say, Darren, sorry, apologies about that. What I was going to say was last season I could not sing Tedemengi's praises enough, and maybe I went a bit too far with him. But this season I'm thinking, do you know what?
You'd almost want him to play well.
If you've got to play like that, then just go, mate. I can't be bothered.
But then you got Holmes. Okay, he's not going to be on Mengi's level, but I
don't know because we haven't really seen him.
We haven't really seen him. Yeah, yet another bizarre thing. A player that we brought in and gave back to the club, and now he's come in and barely kicked football. But I'll tell you what, I bet if he was on the pitch, he'd give it absolutely everything because he wants to prove a point. That's what Luton have been doing over the previous years. Yeah, players like you said that want to go out and prove a point and give it everything.
Yeah, because the hunger has gone.
Yeah,
depressing, isn't it?
But maybe look, the thing is,
I'm sorry, it's just depressing.
Maybe we're digging out certain players, right, and being a bit too harsh. But that's obviously how we feel, right? And obviously, I know the players. Obviously, they get paid a wage, they get paid a lot of money to do their job, and yes, there's a level of expectation from the fans, and it should always be an expectation. But they should have expectations on themselves as well.
I don't think we're unrealistic as a group of fans, though. At the very least, it is you try your absolute hardest.
And we'll support you the way through.
You play for the shirt. I mean, I know it was the Premier League last season, but look at the support that they got because you could see how hard they were trying.
Yeah. It doesn't feel the same effort is there, does it?
No, it doesn't.
And it can't be because we've lost Ross Barkley.
No.
It can't be because Lukonga's not there.
We've also dropped a level as well in competition. So at the same time, you can say, oh, we can replace that because we've still got the level of like a decent nucleus of squad. So yeah.
It's still early days. But
of course.
But we're already asking the question, is Watford make or break? Is it make or break for Rob Edwards? I mean, I like Rob Edwards. I think he can and should turn it around, and I don't think.
Yeah, I hope he does. We all love him, of course we do. This is not. We're not digging out Rob Edwards on this podcast. Well, I hope you. Well, I don't think any of you.
Well, listen,
I'm definitely not.
I think the point is
to change.
A lot of fans are saying it's time for him to go.
No, that's it.
And I'm saying, is Watford make or break?
No.
For me, it is because the poison was already coming to the fore against Sheffield United. Okay. Let's say we lost 2-0, 3-0, something like that. For a large part of the home support, that will be too much, and they will be really on him. Yeah. And once they're really on you as a manager, it seldom changes.
It's the level of performance that you get as well, isn't it? Yeah. Let's face it. I mean, if we get an absolute piss poor performance right against Watford, then yeah, if it's toothless, if it's like naive defending and whatever else you could probably possibly imagine, it's you should be doing basics. You're not doing the basics right. And there's no hunger, no aggression, nothing. If you've got no heart in that game, then potentially. But I will be honest, I do not think it's time out for him right now. But he needs to change something because if he goes into that game and plays the, I don't want to say the word, but yeah, plays that style of football that we're playing at the moment, which has no style.
Yeah.
And then,
But
it's not going to be good for the fans.
To me,
is it?
he is that result away from being in trouble.
I think for me, I don't think it will be make or break for him. I just don't see Gary Sweet and that pinning that on him. I think they will give him longer. I think also that Watford aren't, I hate to say it, but they're not doing too bad in the league. So I think if you were playing Cardiff, you know, okay, they picked up their first win, but if you were playing bottom of the table, I mean, we're almost there anyway. But
Well, QPR.
Yeah, go QPR. Go QPR.
Yeah, go QPR.
If we don't like them, do we?
no, but if you're playing one of them and you get turned over, then I think he's in trouble. But I think if you go and get, look, we all thought we were going to lose against Sheff Utd. If we're honest, we're going to have to be unbelievable to beat Watford. He's going to have to pull something out the bag. I think if we were to lose for Watford, I don't think it would be a surprise. So I don't think in that sense it would be make or break.
It will be so hostile, though.
It will be. It will be, but I don't think it would be make or break.
If we put in a brilliant performance against Watford,
I'll be even more furious because it shows that they could have done it all along.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And we
So
know they
either
can
way,
as well.
I refuse to be happy.
So and that takes, but that takes the balance out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
What I was-
because the players, the fans are going to be more up for it. The players should be more up for it. So how can you determine whether that's that? You know, it's sort of a leveler, isn't it? Because you're playing them. So that's why it can't be make or break because it's a one-off random game.
But I'm saying if it goes badly wrong, like 2 or 3-0, I think it would be venomous.
the last time that
We'll see, won't we? Or we won't.
the last time that Watford did a thing on us at home would have been a long time. We lost 4-0.
4-0, yeah.
Right. Luckily, I was in hospital that time.
Oh yeah, that's really lucky. That is.
It's always a good place to be in it.
I mean, I could always put you back in hospital if fair.
Luckily, I was in hospital with a life-threatening illness and I couldn't see the game. Anyway.
What was it, around, was it 92?
98.
98?
97, 98.
Oh, okay. Way out.
Anyway, it was 97, 98 season for sure. But if we put in a decent performance and lose 1-0, we're not going to turn, are we? We're not going to turn on the manager, surely.
I mean, look, as long as we play well, we show spirit and heart. I'm not going to turn anyway. Either way, at the moment, like I said, as long as we see something from the players, a reaction at least from the way we've been playing recently, just get back to doing what we know we do.
Hey, listen,
get in their face, kick lumps out of them.
There are some players in our team that know how important this game is. There are some players. If Kraus got goosebumps the other night when he came on and played at Luton at home, he has not experienced what he's about to experience at the weekend. If they can't grab that opportunity and take it on and get that win.
But the first thing that's got to happen is they've got to get it right off the pitch. They've got to pick a team where people are in their position and then you can go from there.
And he's going to have a pretty much full squad, isn't he? You know, Morris will be back, Chong will be back.
I'm telling you what,
I don't know about Bell, but he's got to be close. So he's going to have nearly the whole lot to
Even
choose from.
Hashoka might be close
Hashi's
as well.
going to be close, yeah. But obviously, Baptiste is back.
I am super optimistic again. Just let you know. Anyway, listen, we asked you
3-0.
We asked you guys, is Watford make or break for Rob? Connor says, personally, I think his time is up now, unfortunately. I can understand people say give him time, but his stubbornness to change tactics hasn't done him any favours. And if we carry on with him, I think we're in a relegation battle. Ed says, if it's a terrible performance and we get thrashed, I dread to think how toxic the Kenny will be. Make or break, personally, I think he should be given a little more time, but in many people's eyes, it will be the last straw. Jamie, absolutely not. He has a contract until 2028. We can't afford to pay that off. Well, I think we probably could. Whatever needs to happen internally needs to happen, but we need to know why Carlton has a slight injury, but has now missed 3 games, etc. We used to be transparent, but it's now all in-house. You know what? Sometimes those things are kept confidential, aren't they? Lauren Gregory. Nice to hear you, here, Lauren. All the way from Australia. Would Pep get the same group of players promoted? If the answer is yes, then maybe you can blame Rob. If the answer is no, then you have to look at the board and their recruitment. Fair enough. Wheelo, we're too nice and unwilling to spend in the Premier League. The Championship is a battle, and once again, we're being too nice and unwilling to invest. While the stadium and future plans are important, having only 4 wins in a calendar year is shocking. With the relegation battle looming, change is needed now. And finally, Louis says, no, can't see the club wanting to pay out a new bumper 4-year deal after 9 or 10 games. Also, who's actually available that would come to us right now?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, but We don't know the contract, all right? Okay, 4-year contract, that's fine. I doubt now that it's like going back 10, 15 years where you would get the whole of that contract paid out. You know, I'm sure that both sides are protected against numerous situations. You know, it's probably, you know, if you have to part ways during this period, then you'll get whatever percentage and that percentage. You know, I don't believe that those contracts exist anymore where you get all your contract paid off. So,
well, you'd be saying,
yeah, that's right. There'll be
a
agreed payment. So I don't think that, you know, the cost of paying off whatever he's entitled to will be a factor.
This is a big turning point for us. Rob gets this right at Kenilworth Road, then our attitudes change. Our next, we got.
Are you suggesting we're fickle?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say
interesting concept.
Just the next.
Same with this conversation.
Just in case it does happen. Chris Hughton, just saying.
Chris Hughton?
Yeah, the amazing Chris Hughton, who's been sacked from many positions for not performing as well as they should. You know, the manager carousel goes round and round and round all the time.
Really dull manager.
Yeah,
really dull.
He's a lovely man.
I'm sure he is.
I think he's a nice man and it fits for the club, but he's got pedigree.
We've still got a manager, by the way, just let your boys know. We've still got a manager. He's going to turn it around, by the way. He's going to turn it around.
Lewis asked the question, so I answered it.
Well, that's good, yeah. 4 of our next 5 fixtures are at home. Mm-hmm. If we win all of those, we'll be buzzing, won't we?
Well, we will. Because
it's Sunderland, West Brom.
Yeah.
Sunderland and West Brom. I mean, if we get something from those games, fantastic. Watford, listen, I've just got to put my Luton hat on and go, we're going to win that. But, you know, that's just being optimistic again. And then Cardiff, if 4 out of those 5 games at home, we need to win at least 3 of those, right? So I'll take Watford, Sunderland and West Brom.
Okay.
Draw with Cardiff. I'm happy with that. If we get those wins. What do you think before we finish?
Well, let's just do Watford first.
Watford first, right.
And then we can go from there.
Do we need to be doom and gloom going forward, or do we need to get behind the team for that game? Because that game, for all of us, we know what it means. They know what it means. We need to get behind the team.
Yeah, regardless of the backstory, you've got to be totally on board, you know, from the start on that game. You know, that's the way it's got to be, isn't it? But very quickly, I think Josh on Twitter, he a couple of days ago, he said, "Take me back," and this is Luton. And it was Cody Drame when he was pressing against Sunderland, you know, and he got a tackle in, the crowd roars, and then he tries to cross it, it goes out for a corner, and the crowd goes up again. You know, again, that epitomised everything that we were about. You know, that intensity, that fight, and, you know, they just hunted him down.
Yeah.
You know, he said, "Take me back, that's what I want," and I think that's exactly right.
Before we finish, I suppose we haven't had Jacobs in, but we'll put that out there. We should just do our prediction for the Watford score, because do you know what? If we do a Watford preview, everyone, which we probably will, it will be different. So we'll look out for that. That will come up in a week or so's time.
We got another point, Steve, just saying.
I'm not talking about it.
They're getting cut adrift at the bottom.
A little bit, yeah. They're kind of feeling a bit like Luton at the moment.
Sorry that we're more positive than you guys. You know what I mean? It's all right.
Anyway, so I'm going to go for Luton Town 3, Watford 0.
The law of averages suggests at some point
sometime it's going to work.
Okay.
Sometime it's going to work. What do you think, boys? Come on, be quick because we're running out of time.
Luton Town 4, Watford 3.
That was a great game, though. That one. That was a great game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was a great game.
I don't know what I'm laughing for. I'm going for Luton Town 2, Watford 1.
So I have to tap the drums as well.
I'm going.
No, stop. If you are going to go for a Watford win, you're not allowed on the next podcast.
Say you're still on your probationary period.
You're not allowed.
Yeah, but he's thinking about points.
I don't give a shit about the point.
There's
points win prizes.
There's no prizes this time, Darren.
No, I'm like you were saying, Patara. You went with your heart earlier. You got to go with your head.
No, you don't. Not in this fixture.
Luton Town 1, Watford 3.
Right, let's stop the camera. Right, let's beat this shit out.
So next time it'll either be you 3 or it'll be me or Mo.
Well, I don't know what to say now.
No,
that's really annoyed me. When the lights go out,
yeah, we'll have him.
listen, everyone, thanks for coming up and saying hello on Saturday. It was nice to meet you all. I have to say hello to Fraser, who came over and had a chat. Loads of people that come over.
Steve Lockyer.
Steve Lockyer, yeah. Nice to have a chat with him as well. We hope that we come back on the next pod and it's a very positive pod. Because I can't do these anymore with this negativity. Look forward to the Watford game. Let's hope Rob can turn it around. Let's hope the squad can turn it around for us. And we come back and we're absolutely loving it.
And we're Luton again.
And we are Luton. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you haven't subscribed already on YouTube, please do. If you haven't watched on YouTube, try and give it a go. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.